Well, we're driving in from South Dakota. We just went through a bunch of weather as we went through Deadwood and Sturgis. And then we came on up the highway. And as we were driving into Wyoming, heading for our next campground, which was the KOA Devil's Tower Black Hills uh, National Forest, I didn't realize when I was coming into the campground exactly what that meant. So as we were driving along, one of the things that we saw was that um, suddenly Devil's Tower comes into view, and there are all of these campgrounds along the way that have this awesome view. And I remember wondering to myself what it would be like every morning to wake up and see that out my bedroom window. And then I thought it was probably a lot like growing up on the beach, because that's what I did. I grew up on the beach in Southern California, and before long, you didn't even hear the waves. You didn't even hear the sounds of this exciting place that you were living now. One of the things that was particularly interesting about Devil's Tower was that it looked pretty big from a distance, and I'm still probably, oh, I don't know, 20, 25 miles away from it at this point. But there were all of these makeshift campgrounds along the side of the road, which were pretty interesting, actually. It made me think that I probably didn't need to go to all the trouble to reserve a spot. However, when I went back by those places on the way out, I noticed that they don't have any hookups, so they're strictly boondocking campsites. And until I get things straightened out, I finally found how to hook up to my lithium batteries, how to turn them on and make them the source. This is the arrival at our campground. This is the view from checked in at the KOA, and now we're entering the campground. We were given a campsite that faced Devil's Tower, and it was a nice campsite. This is a miniature golf thing here on the right. There were people playing miniature golf in there all day, every day during the week that I was there. It was, kind of interesting to see that. I know that KOAs are family parks. I just didn't realize that families actually did that stuff together when they were camping. I guess it's because my sister and I always went camping together. We never really camped as a family when I was younger. So the campsite that I was in was up here right on the left. We're next to a little R pod, and directly across from the swimming pool. There's a kids' playground there on the right, and then just behind that is the swimming pool. The little R pod there was there, and they stayed for a day after I arrived. They left 2 days after I got there. And then I had a succession of neighbors in that spot and the other spots on down from that. I only had one or two neighbors show up to the left of me, which was kind of interesting. So you can see through the trees that over there on the left, behind the big tree, is where Devil's Tower is. It's over there, so couldn't really see it too much from the car. So I definitely couldn't see it from the camper, which was okay. So I was hoping that I would not have neighbors so that I could um, work outside and be able to sit in such a way that my clients would be able to see Devil's Tower in the background, but that just wasn't to be. Because of confidentiality, I couldn't work outside, just in case. Not that anybody in the campground would have known the people I was talking to. At least I tell myself that. However, confidentiality says that I can't take the risk. So I worked from the inside, and then Winky and I would go outside for walks and walk all over the campground. And we had wild turkeys come and visit. They walk through the campsite, and it was kind of interesting to watch them come in and walk around. So lots of wildlife there, lots of rabbits and lots of deer. The rabbits were Miss Thing's special interest. We went to the dog park one morning and there was one that jumped through the fence to get out and got his little foot stuck. So the day after arrival, we needed groceries, so we went for a ride on down the highway that we came in to get to Devil's Tower. This little town has a population of 1,500 or something like that, and there's 75 buildings on Main Street, and all 75 buildings are a business of some sort. So I suspect that the people who live in this town, that a lot of them are making their living from these 75 businesses that are along Main Street along here. I decided to drive out to the smallest town in Wyoming, which is in the far northeast corner, up by where the 4 states of North Dakota, South Dakota, Montana, and Wyoming come together. So we drove on out there, and on the way we saw some countryside that reminded me so much of the Joe Pickett show, of what there was there when he was riding his horse on the hillside and all of that stuff. And it's pretty interesting to be a fan of a show that is filmed in one of my favorite places so far on the face of the planet. I absolutely love Wyoming, and the travels I've done around the state since coming in and seeing Devil's Tower has just really convinced me that the heart leaning that I've had all my life, that this is where I was supposed to live, wasn't wrong. I just never met anybody from Wyoming. I married somebody from Illinois. I married somebody from West Virginia. I married somebody from Utah, and I married somebody from California, but never married anybody from Wyoming. Maybe that's the next thing I need to do is marry some cowboy from Wyoming. I don't know. My horoscopes keep telling me that the great love of my life is in the cards for me in the near future, and all I have to do is just be open and ready. So we'll see what happens. I'm leaving Wyoming on Saturday and heading for Utah. So going to Phenomicon. So anyway, we drove along here and just really enjoyed the scenery, and it just is a very, very pleasant, pretty drive in eastern Wyoming. Okay, so we're getting ready to go into the actual monument park. There's supposed to be a trail that I can walk up and actually touch the monument. And, Winky has to wait in the car because she can't be on any of the trails or in the visitor center or anything like that. So she'll have to wait in the car while I do that. And then when we come back, we're going to go to the trading post across the street and see if I can find those Black Hills gold earrings that I wanted when we got into the Black Hills of South Dakota. Maybe I'll find them here in the Black Hills of Wyoming. So anyway, that's the plan for today so far. And then when we get back, going to shower, do laundry, all that stuff so that we're ready to roll on Saturday, because I'll be working for the next 3 days. Okay, so as you come in, there's a sign that says present pass or pay as you exit, so there's only one way in, one way out. They have you take a map and a newsletter, and so we'll see what this is all about. It says there's a cafe and a gift shop, so we'll see what's up with all of that. I doubt I'll be eating up here. The restaurant prices in the area seem to be kind of expensive, but we are going to pull out and read this Reedy thing here. So, first reedy thing. So that reedy thing was about the pyramids along the Belfort River, and it has to do with when they were trying to get the dam stabilized. I guess the pyramids were a break fast for water coming from the dam. Okay, we're in the parking lot for the visitor center. There seems to be a lot of people lined up here already to get in. But since I have Winky in the car with me, I'm going to wait in the vehicle until I see that the door is open, and then I'll go in. Just don't want her sitting out here barking at everybody that walks by. So, anyway, I don't know that I'm going to take the hike up the trail. It looks kind of straight up, and the monument looks a lot higher than what I'm going to be able to touch. So, I don't know if you can see it there, but there it is, and it looks pretty intimidating, but there are people who climb it. Pretty interesting. The little bit that I do know is that it was formed from lava flow that dried in a specific kind of way, and I guess just thousands of years of the weather, you know, the wearing off the dirt and the outside of the mountain that that volcano tube must have been in, must have taken 100,000 years to wear that off. So anyway, it is a Native American holy spot, so I'll get more information on that when I go in and I read the most current information on the geological structure and formation of it. Okay, well, I'm back from the gift shop. They had some interesting things in there. Something that I didn't know is that they have a national park passport book, which every national park you go to, you can get a sticker for it and a stamp, which I didn't realize. So next year, when my trip goes as planned, I think I'll get one of those passports and then be sure to get a stamp from every national park I go to. That's a pretty cool idea. I like it. So the Native American Bear Lodge story is that they were on top of the mountain and that a bear was making its way to the top of the mountain to be with them, which is how the column shaping from the bear claw scratches happened in the side of the mountain. I actually bought a thing of the legend of Devil's Tower, so I will take a picture of that and post it as well, and it should be an interesting thing because the Native Americans have been seeing this as a sacred spot longer than we've had it as a national monument. So we just stopped and got some video of the prairie dogs. I didn't even notice this on the way in. I guess it's because it's almost just inside the gate. But the sign says don't feed the prairie dogs, and I'm not sure I would know what to feed them anyway, even if I did try to feed them. But Winky was quite interested in them. She was whining at the door, wanting to get out to play with them. However, that's one of the areas that she's not allowed in. So, yeah, so kind of interesting. The things that you see and learn when you take the time to drive slow. Because if I had been driving in a hurry, I would have missed that.